back to InHerSelf podcast,
where we talk about faith, family, finance, and friendship.
So if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube and follow us on all social media platforms.
And make sure to turn your notifications on to be notified whenever we post new content.
Hey guys.
Who am I that you would come and see me? I'm overwhelmed. Can't catch my breath.
Can hardly breathe.
I'm excited.
Excited.
Yeah. Hey, y'all. There you go with that phone.
You're welcome.
That is not how that
It feels good to sing ugly because when you got to sing, like, make sure your note is right, it's take concentration.
It does?
Not really. Like, it do, especially when the song doing all of that extra stuff. You do got to concentrate and make sure you hitting your note.
Okay, let me hear you sing something.
For real?
Mm-hmm.
You are.
Oh, I'm telling on you because you know who you.
Yeah. Let me stop before the Lord take my voice away. For real, that's not funny.
First of all, gifts and calls are without repentance.
No, they are,
He's not taking them back.
If you say I'm gonna just play like that, then I don't want to play like that. I'm
Your voice.
scared.
That ain't no Indian giver.
No, he not.
That's
He's a
us.
Good father.
That's the human side.
You're right.
Oh my goodness. Now you got me wanting to sing. I ain't singing. Mm-mm. What was
I
that?
don't know. Who's just doing old school Sunday? So
Girl.
like, that's where I'm at with it.
The two hands.
I don't know. It's like, woo-wee. I'm tired. I'm tired of a lot of things.
That's ridiculous. You need to go take a nap talking about you tired.
I know. Okay, I'm done.
Girl, we just had a real good conversation downstairs on our little mini break.
It was good.
Was it good?
Mm-hmm.
How you feeling?
Better.
I can tell you feel better. You feel look a little bit lighter.
I be looking heavy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like that.
Me either. And I'm only saying that because people's spirits, you can tell when you walk into a room, like it's not like lighter in, well, sometimes complexion too. Like depending if you're like weighted down and you just look like, you look free.
Like dark, you can look like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
You look heavy. You just, you look bogged down. Just your spirit is not, the way that it needs to be. Yeah. I'll say that. And so you look lighter. You feel like you look a little bit free.
Yeah. One day you're going to see me and maybe I'm going to be a little extra lighter because it's a lot of things that I need to have conversations with and probably with myself more than anything. Just to release some things.
Like what?
Well, I mean, of course, the topic we talking about has a lot to do with that. But, just still trying to heal some trauma that I got and just trying to maintain and not people please and just balancing it all to get to the full person that I'm supposed to be. So I probably look different. The more layers come off, if that makes sense.
I don't want you to rush, but I want you to hurry up too. No, because
it's like slow and steady, but hurry up.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Because I feel like it's a beautiful space to be in. When you finally do, you're going to be like, why did I take so long?
Yeah, I feel
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, because I'm going to not speak for you, I'm going to speak for me, because my avoidance of things is in different areas. And again, that what we're talking about today is just the evolution of our friendship and how we kind of was, trying to figure out our new sisterhood and where we fit in each other's lives without wanting to face the possibility of we not needing each other in this new season. Primarily more so you not needing me. Mm-hmm. That's where it started from, but you not knowing that I felt the same way because what all the things that are going on in your life as well, things you are pursuing. Once you get it off of your chest, once you get it out of your mind, you don't have that thing. You can think clearly and from a different lens that's not filtered, that's not dirty, that's not tainted. You can think from a pure place because the whole time you kind of playing mind tricks and games with yourself. And again, the conversation that we had earlier prior to recording, we both knew that a conversation was going to be necessary. It was just us avoiding it because number one, we didn't want to rush the conversation. And number two, we always desire to have a conversation that leaves both people whole and not hurt and not offended. And because we both walk in that space, is like, all right, so not today.
Not today. But good morning. Bless the Lord. How are you? You're like, okay, maybe next week. Next week came, not ready yet.
I mean, we done went on your birthday girls trip. We done had several of these episodes, and we been digging deep. And there was an elephant that was like, "Hey,"
and it started off as a toddler, but baby, it was full grown today.
It was full grown. It was, and God is so intense. This is why I love Him. This is why y'all need to love the Lord like we love the Lord, because we were sitting here like, what are we going to talk about? Because the previous episode, I hope y'all enjoyed it and y'all chimed in, and we were like, what are we going to talk about the next episode? And couldn't think of anything. And I mean, we prayed about it. We done sought the Lord. Okay, Lord, what you wanted to talk about? And nothing. And we ended up, how it transpired was, Jaden's, one of his last games is getting ready to happen this weekend, and you make everything, like, you are a part of, since the boys have been playing knee high to a duck.
Right.
This is, Jaden's first time in basketball or not, but you was like, I haven't been in no games. And I was like, why you didn't ask?
Right.
And he was like, well, I ain't never had to ask before.
Because I didn't, right? Yeah, that was just a simple response, right? Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, but all of this stuff I got going on and my workload and my plate is full. Like, it clearly just slipped my mind, and we didn't. And then you was like, well, just like you sent the schedule for Makai, why you didn't send the schedule? And so now I'm trying not to get offended, but I'm like, so you mean to tell me you see everything I got going on and you just couldn't shoot me a text and say, hey sis, is anything going on this weekend? I could have been like, yeah, no, anything. And so that is what opened the can, and that was the solution. And Anderson Love was like, this is the topic. This is the topic, and this is the time to talk about this. And then you proceed to say, we're not talking about this before we actually talk about this.
Because I just didn't know, like, with me, I mean, I'm an emotional wreck. I don't care who I'm talking to. You, my mama, my sisters, I'm a cry, right? Mm-hmm. Today I didn't sob, but my voice was trembling. And I said, I can't be on there doing all of that.
And a little.
Yeah, and the lash was coming up. I said, hold up, swole up. We can't be on there like that. So I said, well, we can't have the conversation on the podcast. You said, why not? I said, because we can't. And then the conversation was had. It didn't feel good in the beginning. I feel like a lot of it was me not intentionally being selfish, but it can come off selfish because I don't have you all to myself.
Yeah.
You're not just my friend. You're not my mom. You're not my wife. You're not, like, you have so many other people that you care about and that are important to you, and so many different business ventures. And I'm so godly proud of you. But I was like, we've been friends for almost a decade, and I have never really felt like this. So what's going on?
Yeah. What was revealed to me is that because I totally care a lot about my friends, my family, my tribe that I check in on, that I do life with, I had become used to always being like, what's wrong with you? Like pulling it out. And I'm like, oh, okay, now that you're free. And I've had to learn too, to not do that. Like, I knew that something was wrong. I knew that you were feeling some type of way about something. I just was like, Lord, we gotta grow up. We have to grow up. We can't keep doing what we were doing. And yes, my plate is full of a lot of different ventures and things that are going on. But as I evolve deeper into my 30s, approaching 40s, and as you evolve, getting into your 30s, it's like we're in two different places and spaces. And I said earlier too, that because usually friends, especially sisters, like deep, for real, they do in life together at the same time. Mm-hmm. And because we're in two separate places, it makes it harder because I most often understand where you are because I've been there, but you don't understand where I am because you haven't been there yet.
Right.
So it makes it a little bit harder. In expectation, I'm like, okay, so you don't get that, like, I'm not just not texting you. I'm not just sitting home just like, la, 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 better go watch Netflix.
Right.
And I'll see her tomorrow. It's like, no, if my normal was to do this all the time and I'm not doing that anymore, it's because of the fact that I clearly was knee deep, waist deep in something else. And also I had to become more cognizant that I am married. Like we was like this or locked in, but then the Bible tells me to leave and cleave. So I can't just be like, all right, so I know I'm married, but my friend was here first.
Right.
Like, I can't do that.
It doesn't work like that.
It does not work that way.
We are so excited to officially announce that we have launched our Patreon. By signing up, you will become a member of our InHerCircle community.
You'll receive exclusive access to our content that is only available to our Patreons, such as behind the scenes, live discussions, and Discord. But most importantly, first dibs on new merch.
To register, visit our link tree in the bio or the description below.
See you at the circle. And so because I know that too, and juggling, it's hard enough being married and got kids because as we discussed before, like you have to that order and trying to find the balance. And so for me, I had to not pull back, but I had to really hone in and go before God and say, okay, how do I be present for the people that are in my life and not lose me and not like feel obligated or not feel like if I'm not present, if I don't show up, if I don't do this, then, you know, the world is going to end.
Yeah.
And then you also shared, well, we kind of both came to the revelation of not just codependency, but also your desire to feel like you were no longer needed in the friendship.
Yeah. And I feel like that in a lot of areas in my life because I am trying to balance the people pleasing aspect, right? And so when somebody doesn't say, "Hey, can you do?" it makes me feel like, dang, I'm not needed anymore in that aspect. So maybe the season is ending, maybe I'm not, and that should not come to my mind. It should be, no, your friend knows that that's what you struggle with. So she's trying to help you with it. But instead I received it like, well, dang, she trying to help me, but she trying to say, all right, well, you figure it out by yourself. You got it. Because you know the enemy gonna play with your mind like that. Oh, you trying not to people please? All right, bet. Now the closest person to you, boom. Now you really won't. And it's like, so when you said, no, I was just trying to help you, it was a revelation because I was like, I didn't receive it like that and I should have. So I apologize.
But I don't, first of all, I receive your apology. I don't feel like it's warranted because I genuinely, I'm viewing you from a lens of if you've never done something before, you're not supposed to know what it feels like, what it looks like, how to do it. It's going to feel new because it's a new place you've never been in. So you can't really say, in my opinion, you can't say like, I know I shouldn't have received like that. You don't know how to receive it. Now that you've had the experience, you can say going forward, I'm not going to receive it that way because you have the experience to back that emotion. Prior to that, it was a new thing, new lesson, new blessing. So it's like, I'm not sure. For me, because I'm a stickler to thou shalt not have no other God before him. I don't care whether that's in friendship, whether that's in business, whether that's relationship, your career, and nothing. It's so easy to make things idols, whether it's social media or whether it's getting up in the morning and I gotta go to the gym. Anything that you have spent more time with outside of God becomes an idol to you. And so if that was our relationship of depending on me being present, then I'm gonna remove me.
Yeah.
Because I need you to see him. And I need to see him because one thing about it, he's a jealous God. And I don't want him to be separated because of me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so because I'm intentional about that, I was doing my own, self-in and checks. Like when you have other friends and was going out of town, different things, I'm like, oh, dang. But then it's like, I just don't express it. I don't say it. I don't vocalize it. I think about it. I shut it down. I move on. You, on the other hand, is a complete opposite of me. You express it. You show it all on your sleeves. You know what I mean? And so, and mine is a different capacity. I was also sharing with you, like, because, I'm a church kid. I'm a PK. I've been in church all my life. I done ran away, came back 2 or 3 times. Bless the Lord. I'm glad he accepted me. I'm just being real. And that's why I'm grateful and I carry the amount of grace and mercy and extend it to other people because I know the grace was extended to me. And so growing up in church, I've always felt like I needed to be needed by the church. Like I found my value in singing or in preaching or in whatever that is, because I feel like I was missing that in my home. And so when we also shared, when I didn't do something, love was withheld from me.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to feel that way. So whatever I got to do to make you give me what I need emotionally, I'm willing to do. And I carried that in every season, in every area of my life, because you are supposed to train up a child in the way they should go. So in my training, not knocking neither one of my parents, but that's my reality that the Lord had to fix and is still fixing day by day, that's a level of codependency, but it's in a different area. So when I see in you, it was recognized, because no, it's not from the church. It's not from people in that capacity, but it's because you're desiring to be loved because you shared about your dad.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to make sure I show up. You know what I mean?
Because that just wasn't a thing that was there. Like, it was, okay, I'm going to promise you something, but I'm not going to fulfill it. And so growing up, I made sure that whatever I say, or if somebody need me to do something, I'm going to do it. I'm not going to leave you at the bank waiting for the money that I promised you. I'm not going to promise that I'm going to be there or come down and see you and I don't make it happen. So I didn't know why I was doing it. It was just like, okay, I people please, but the Lord said, okay, you know what you do, but I need to reveal why you do it.
Yeah.
Because then you're not going to heal from it if you don't know why you do it. You're just going to continue to do it. And I'm like, that is a revelation, because my dad just didn't do it, just lied. And I said, oh, I won't be that liar. I will make sure that I go over and beyond. And it's a good thing what we talked about. You said it's a godly thing, but in this season, it ended up hurting me more than anything.
Because you shouldn't do that for everybody.
Right.
Like, God is a God who is a promise keeper. When he says something, it shall come to pass. So that attribute is very good to have. It's just not good to have with everything, everybody, all the time.
Yeah.
Because we ain't God. We're God-like. We're striving to be like him. But that level of energy is not meant for everybody, because everybody does not extend that same level of energy. You have to know who, and the people who you cannot be there for will understand.
Yeah.
Genuinely will understand, which is why I'm like, no, I'm not asking you anymore to do whatever it is. I'm going to make sure I'm extending all my resources first, because I know your answer is yes. I respect you too much to say, oh, well, heaven gonna do it. She got nothing better to do. Yes, heaven does have something better to do, even if it's at home doing nothing, watching Netflix.
Right.
Relaxing. There's something to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so that's where it was never intentional. It was never, it was me doing what I felt like the Lord was calling me to do, being the person I need to be in your life. And I think that our friendship, sisterhood is going to continue to evolve, and the spaces that we are going. And when you become a wife, when you become a mother, you are already an auntie, when you are traveling and doing different things, and when we're doing this InHerSelf conferences and all those different things, the different capacities that we have, like, our roles will continue to evolve and change. And we got to be confident in the places that we are in each other's life, and knowing that it's not intentional. We're not trying to hurt each other. We have to have the level of understanding, and what somebody else did is not what we're doing to each other.
Right. And that's it. That's all. Because you take your trauma and your other situations and you think that everybody is the same, knowing that you're not. But it's like, with the last person, I didn't think they was going to do that either. And that's what happened. So I think I'm so happy we had that conversation, because we felt the same way. You just don't say it. Me, I'm like, okay.
And you didn't say it either. You acted on it.
Right.
See, me, I'm gonna think about it, but because I have other distractions going on, I'm only really thinking about it when it's in my face happening, and I'm like, okay, well, I gotta maneuver. Mm-hmm. But outside of that, I'm just like, because I can't afford to take, and that's another thing, we can't afford to take baggage from last year, yesterday, into this new season. Like, I told you I was going through something currently,
yep.
Not going to really expound on it, but I don't care about the negative. It's not that deep.
Yeah.
It's not important enough for me to take my eye focusing off of where I'm heading to be like, okay, so you say what? You got an attitude about what? You
the
mad about
catering
this?
spirit.
I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
I'm not doing that. Every baggage that don't belong on this airplane gotta go. Leave it. Unchecked.
Don't even put it on the flight with me.
It ain't going to the airport.
It ain't going. It's not even going. Don't even put it in the car on the way to the airport.
No, you can go in the car, but I'm going to drop it off at Goodwill. Do you understand me? It's not.
I know that's right.
It got to go because I want out my house too.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just not focusing on those things. We're supposed to focus our attention on things above. Like if you genuinely want to, this piece of freedom that I just tasted and seen, baby, I don't need nothing. I'm fighting for peace to keep it. And so when these little distractions and stuff start, it's like, pick, nah, that's okay. I'm gonna take over here. And you want to aggravate the enemy? You want to really disrupt some things? Cast it down and ignore it.
That ignoring spirit, it gets mad.
Because the tactics don't work anymore.
Yep.
A preacher was preaching before and they was like, change your address. Because whatever used to work, it was working at the address you lived at. Emotionally, mentally, spiritually, physically. But if you change your whatever mail they send in there, it can't even be delivered. You're not going to receive it. Because it can't be delivered.
Yeah.
I'm not her anymore. I used to be hurt. I used to live in a space where I was depressed all the time and everything and people pleasing and catering and caring. Nobody cared about my emotions and woe is me and thinking negative about stuff. But when God changes your mind, and when you get a taste of what life really can be, you pursue that. You pursue him differently. And so anything that reminds me of what I used, baby, I don't want no parts.
Yeah.
And you're not going to make me want it. So the conversation that we didn't want to have, that I believe that's what is necessary in friendships. We have a lot of women that follow us and they love these conversations about friendship and how to evolve and whatnot. Just make sure you guys are having conversations. Communication is key all the time.
Yeah.
Have the uncomfortable conversations, but make sure you go into this thing humble. Both of us, now we did get a little bit passionate.
And yeah, it was a little bit passionate.
It was a little bit passionate.
Yeah.
But I kept reminding myself through the conversation that I'm not your enemy and neither are you.
Right. It's like we both want to see each other win. We want the relationship. What do we really? Let's just try to get to the solution. Why do you feel like this? Okay, it's valid, but let's move past it and figure out how we can find the solution to it. And I think from the past, that's not how we used to operate. But again, we've known each other for a long time. We just don't operate in that context anymore. We're not doing the yelling. We're not doing this. For what? I care about you way too much. And one, I don't have the energy for it. But
Girl.
I care about you way too much.
When you said arguing, babe, I got tired. Think about that.
I'm exhausted.
I ain't got it.
I don't have it.
I ain't got it. I don't even want it.
And I think that's the beautiful part about it. We both in that space where we don't want to. When you have relationships where one person wants to argue all the time and the other is not, it's probably not going to work. That's what people call toxic. Mm-hmm. But that's just not the space that we're in. And because we want the best and the greatest for each other, it's okay. I'm going to hear you out. You're going to hear me out. We're not going to talk over each other because actually what you are saying, I want to hear. I want to hear your perspective. I want to see how you feel like that. Just to circle back around to say we both felt the same way.
That's exactly what it ended up being. We felt the exact same way, just in different emotional capacities. You know what I mean? Like we were acting on it differently, but we felt this exact same way. The way that I responded wasn't how you was responding. And so because you thought that I would respond how you were responding, it's like, oh, she don't care.
Yeah.
Oh, she just doing it because she just, oh my gosh, she doesn't want me to be a part of her family. She doesn't want me to do it. And I'm like, because you did. But I was like, me? Come on.
Yeah.
I was like, be serious. Like, I want you. But this is how people, that assumption, that assuming, this is why I'm destined to be an attorney. This is why, because if you pull the receipts, can we go down the receipts? So has Nyjah ever done this? No. Is Nyjah upfront? Yes. Does Nyjah tell you how she feel? Even sometimes when she shouldn't? Yes. So why would it change now?
Yeah. And it's a very valid question. But you know what? I'm changing in myself. So I don't want anybody to feel like I'm changing, and it's like, oh well, what did I do? Because that's how I feel. I was like, well, what, baby? It's not personal. Now I see it, right? Back when we have the conversation, I was like, it gotta be personal. It's not personal, because when you tell me I'm trying to evolve, I'm digging deeper in my word, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, a light bulb should click and say, okay, well, a shift will happen. Instead of saying, well, it gotta be me. I am the it gotta be me type person. I mean, even our producer texted us the other day. I said, what did I do? That spirit has to go.
And all he said was heaven.
I said, Lord Jesus, it's a fire. I said, baby, I did something wrong.
And it wasn't you. He was informing us of something that he did. Right.
But that's my point. Heaven, it's not you.
Yeah.
It could be the other person evolved, just like you evolving. And you might come to me and say, "Is something? Are you like you good?" No, I'm just trying to navigate, trying to figure it out. And I think that's what's important, to have the conversation, because I knew, but hearing you say it calmed my spirit. Like, okay, you navigating. It's not personal. It is what it is, and I'm gonna love you through it regardless.
Because one thing I had to share also that kept ringing out to me, you was like, well, you've always been busy and you've always been able to text or to call. And I'm like, but I need you to understand the level of what I do now is completely different. I'm doing stuff I've never done before. Mm-hmm. And because I heard the instructions of God saying, she is codependent and I need you to back up gently, but I need you to, because what I'm getting ready to do in her life, you gonna be uncomfortable and she gonna be uncomfortable, but know that I got both of y'all.
Yeah.
And so it was hard for me not to be like, Heaven, can you do this for me? I'm like, Lord, please.
And that's why I'm like, why you not asking me to do nothing?
I couldn't. You know why? I had to reach out to my other resources. Yeah. I had to pull on other people who were capable and who were qualified to do it. See, we were figuring out together.
Yeah.
Because we were like, I don't even know how to do it, but I figured it out. But we have people who they're called to do this. But because I'm just like, no, we going to do it all. And they didn't want to complain later because it was a lot. No, it's stretching me to be the leader that I know I'm called to be. It's stretching me to be the entrepreneur and the boss that I'm called to be. All of these things that I'm stretching too. And it's uncomfortable. And I'm like, I can't lean into you. I want to, but this is not the season. And you're like, she don't need me.
Well, understanding that, yeah, we're not all we have. You know, people use that we all we got. No.
We have others.
We have others that were equipped and that were sent.
Yes.
To help us in that area, and all that I'm called, because we were everything to each other. Assisting.
Yes.
Babysitters. We were, and I say it very loosely, but that's what it was.
Chauffeurs.
All of it.
We was everything.
Teachers, all of it. But now it's like, I'm just called to be your sister.
That's it. And it feels weird.
Yes. It feels strange.
It feels so weird.
Honestly.
Yeah.
And if we didn't have the conversation, I would still be like, something's wrong. But no, God is like, I have y'all right where I need y'all to be.
Mm-hmm. And it's beautiful.
You were there for every aspect that you guys needed to be, but now you don't have to be that. Mm-hmm. I placed people strategically in your life, but now you know what somebody should come to the table with, because you guys did it and you ain't know nothing. But now this person, that's what they called to do?
Qualified
to do? Oh, they should come to the table without a question.
And they do.
Right.
And so let people be who they're supposed to be in your life. You don't have to do everything and be all things for everyone. And so, because as much as we like to say the bad, but there's so much more good. There's so many more good things in the earth because of who God created this world to actually be. Good will always outweigh bad. That's the way that it is. And so we started this podcast, we were so hurt. We had a lot to say because it was like, oh my gosh, we got, tears and crying and daddy issues, and to evolve into like it being a beautiful situation. Just that evolution alone is amazing.
And I'm just thankful because it takes people 400 episodes to figure it out. We 37 in.
It's doing good.
And we not weeping, sobbing, nothing. We always on the other side, okay?
I know that's right.
And still growing, but we nowhere near how damaged and broken we were when we first started.
Yeah.
Not knowing that this is where we would end up right here, which is a beautiful thing still. But I think if I would have known, I probably would have said, hold on.
Don't worry about it.
I'm good. Well, no. I'm happy.
Me too.
I'm grateful.
Me too. Very. Ooh, I hope y'all growing and glowing too out there.
I mean,
And y'all friends to have these conversations that are tough, that are hard. If you miss your friends, say that. If you feeling uncomfortable, say that. If things are changing and you're trying to get clarification, say that. And if you are already saying that, keep saying it. Keep having these conversations because again, some people are for seasons and other people are for reasons. But if you know you got a friend that's sitting closer than a brother, put in the work.
amen.
Yeah.
I receive.
Amen.
Amen.
As always, in herself, she is loved.
In herself, she is beautiful. In herself, she is strong.
See you next week.
Love y'all. See you.